The Tuol Sleng Genocide Museum in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, is a place where history and horror collide. Once a high school, it became Security Prison 21, or S-21, under the Khmer Rouge regime. Today, it stands as a haunting reminder of one of the darkest periods in modern history. But beyond the exhibits of torture instruments, photographs, and testimonies, there are stories of something far more unsettling: ghostly encounters by visitors who have walked these cold, somber halls. The museum is not large, but the weight of its history presses heavily upon anyone who steps inside. As you wander through the narrow cells, you can feel the silence, an oppressive quiet broken only by the soft whispers of tourists and the distant click of cameras. Each photograph on the walls tells a story, frozen in time. Prisoners' eyes, full of fear, stare back at you from behind the glass. It is impossible not to feel the lingering energy of those who suffered here. Some visitors report feeling a sudden drop in temperature in certain rooms despite the tropical heat outside. Emily, a travel blogger from New York, recounted her experience on her channel. She described walking down a corridor lined with small prison cells when she felt a cold hand brush against her shoulder. "I turned around and no one was there," she said, her voice trembling in the recording. "But I could feel it, like someone had been standing right next to me, watching." Then there's the case of a documentary filmmaker from Los Angeles who stayed late to capture footage for a historical series. As the last staff members locked up for the evening, he set up his camera in a cell, intending to film the stark conditions prisoners endured. Reviewing the footage later, he noticed a shadowy figure standing behind him, its shape indistinct but undeniably human. When he re-watched the recording, the figure disappeared each time he turned the camera to look at it directly. It isn't only visitors who report these experiences. Staff members and guides have their own unsettling stories. One museum guide, a young Cambodian woman, explained that she often hears faint whispers in the dead of night. "Sometimes it is like someone is asking for help, calling my name," she said quietly. "I know it is impossible, but I feel their presence." The museum itself, with its high ceilings and narrow hallways, seems to amplify these strange sensations. Each cell, a cramped room no larger than a closet, once confined prisoners who were interrogated and tortured relentlessly. Many people claim to see fleeting figures in these cells or to feel a sudden, inexplicable heaviness in their chest when passing certain doors. Some describe hearing footsteps when they're alone or catching glimpses of shadows moving at the corner of their vision. Perhaps what makes the ghost stories more compelling is the historical weight of the place. Tuol Sleng was the site of unimaginable suffering. An energy, some believe, lingers long after life has ended. Paranormal enthusiasts argue that the spirits of the prisoners are trapped here, unable to move on because their deaths were violent and unjust. Skeptics, of course, attribute these experiences to the mind's response to intense fear and sadness. But for those who have experienced it firsthand, rational explanations often fall short. Tourists often come to the museum expecting to learn about history, but they leave with more than just knowledge. They leave with an emotional impression that lingers long after they return home. Some say they have dreams of the museum or wake up feeling watched. One visitor even claimed that her camera inexplicably recorded a faint voice saying, "Help me," during her tour. While such accounts cannot be verified scientifically, they add to the chilling mystique surrounding Tuol Sleng. The museum administration acknowledges the heavy emotions visitors experience, but remains neutral on the paranormal claims. "This is a place for remembrance and education," one staff member explained, but we understand that the history here can stir strong feelings, and sometimes people interpret them in ways that involve the supernatural. Regardless of whether one believes in ghosts, the Tuol Sleng Genocide Museum leaves an indelible impression. Walking its corridors, one cannot help but feel a connection to the past, a connection that is sometimes so vivid, visitors swear they are not alone. The stories of ghostly encounters, whispered names, and sudden chills serve as a reminder that the atrocities committed here should never be forgotten, and that history, no matter how horrifying, continues to resonate in the present. Some visitors offer offerings of flowers or incense, a gesture of respect for the lives lost, while others simply walk quietly, absorbing the weight of memory. And whether it is the imagination or something beyond, many agree on one point. Tuol Sleng is a place where the past speaks, and sometimes it speaks in whispers that defy explanation. In the end, Tuol Sleng is not just a museum, but it is a mirror reflecting the darkest depths of human cruelty, and perhaps a testament to the persistence of the human spirit. Ghostly encounters or not, the energy of those who suffered here seems to linger, reminding us that history, like memory, never truly dies.